All right. This is the first time I have done live on my phone to YouTube. So yeah, hopefully I'm doing this correctly. Um, I'm not even going to worry about live chat. I don't want to like mess up anything. So um I'm not even going to be in live chat because I'm not on my computer to do this. I just saw like a thing pop up about doing a YouTube live on my phone. So hi everyone. I see there's like three people now watching. I guess is what it's saying. Forgive me. I'm like really new to doing this sort of live thing on my phone. I always do it at home on my computer. So this is what I've kind of termed as uplifting chat, and want to talk about underage minors. Not allowing underage minors in your car if you're a Lyft or Uber driver, and let you guys know just some of what's going on during this last week. Came across a really helpful tip that I wasn't aware of, and I found out about it just kind of actually by accident, and it has to do with underage minors. I got and this was actually this was probably last week, not this week that this happened, but I hadn't had a chance to tell everyone. I got a ride request, and I get to the destination. I follow the navigation and click the button to let my passenger know that I have arrived. And I have found that parents do this a lot. Um, the Lyft app is in their name, and then it's their high school kids that are needing a ride to school or being picked up from school. And watching other people's videos on this, it's like something you don't want to do. It's a no-no. I believe it's don't quote me on this, but I mean it's definitely against Lyft policy. I'm just almost positive it would be against Uber policy. You cannot have underage minors in your car without a parent or somebody at least the age of 21. And so what I have found these last 4 weeks driving for Lyft is parents are using their account to have Lyft drivers take their children to school. And I mean, especially during we've had like a lot of rain going on. And so, I mean, obviously I can understand not wanting to have to walk to school or walk home from school in the rain. And passengers are supposed to know this. They're supposed to know that it's a big no-no. You can't have underage minors in your car. But they're trying to get around the system. And so when I got there, this is actually what happened to me. And I had already given some rides to minors, and then I talked with my husband, and we're like, no, we can't do this. And so I actually even contacted Lyft, and they replied right back to me and gave me some web links that I could read more information, and it's absolutely against Lyft policy. But you as a driver or you as a passenger, I mean, you have to know this. If you take an underage minor into your car and you're a Lyft driver, and this would be probably for Uber too, you're doing so, I would say, at great risk. Because if you would get in an accident and the child would be hurt, you're going to have a world of hurt, so it's not worth it. So I got there and I asked him, I said, are you 18? And he said, no, I like 17 or something like that. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't take you a ride. I cannot have underage minors in the car without your parents. I said, if your parents want to ride along with you, that's fine. I can do that. And of course, I got the usual excuse, well, I've had no problems having, Lyft rides in the past. And I said, I realize this, some drivers, maybe they don't know this, or they're just like letting it slide. And I said, I'll go ahead and call your mom and explain to her. And of course she was upset, but my thinking is regardless, they should know. I'm sure there's probably some cases where they know and they're just like playing dumb, like, I don't know. And, my son's had, 5 rides, before. And I said, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do. I said, it's too big of a risk. I'm trying to look out for the safety of your son as well as my safety. And so, I asked her to go ahead and cancel the ride, and she was going to go ahead and contact Lyft, which that's fine. They're going to tell her underage minors it's not allowed. And so the ride got canceled, and I had spent like many minutes driving there and everything, and so I didn't get my $5 cancellation, because you are entitled to this. If you've spent your gas and you've done all the steps that you're supposed to do, you are entitled to your $5 cancellation fee. Well, I was also going to notify Lyft what had happened. And so when I went into that day's rides, I clicked on that one that said a passenger canceled, and then I scrolled down to where it says get help. So I clicked on that, and then there were some things that popped up, depending on issue you have with that passenger or that ride. Maybe they've left their wallet or their purse, or they've left some belonging. You can report that and get more information. Well, there was one that said cancellation fee issue, and so I clicked that, and it had some information in there, like you're entitled to like a cancellation bonus be added to your account. And I thought, oh, well, this is cool, because when it canceled, it showed that I didn't make anything off of that, and then there was like this pink button that says done. So I clicked that, and instantly it was added to my day's earnings for that day. And so I thought, okay, well, I need to go through and see, okay, is this something that they allow, like going all the way back to when I started, or was it going to be something where it's good only for the current work week? Because there had been other cancellations where I knew I had driven more than 2 minutes, because how it is a passenger can cancel up to 2 minutes and then they're not charged. But unfortunately, even though you started to the destination, you don't get anything either. But if it's been over 2 minutes, you are entitled to that cancellation fee. And so there were some that I didn't qualify. But going through every day, and then going to the previous week, and just scrolling through every day's activity, clicking on the particular ride, and then sitting down and clicking get help, and then clicking on cancellation fee issue 4 times total, that little pink done button came up, meaning that I was due these $5, for the gas and, doing what I'm supposed to do as a driver. So that was nice. And that was just kind of like happenstance. I didn't even know that was available. So that's a helpful tip to any new drivers out there that may not be aware of this. Because sometimes if, a passenger cancels and it doesn't show that you've made the $5, go ahead and go into that ride. See if you qualify for your $5 cancellation fee. Now, yeah, if they'd taken the ride and it would end up being, along fare, I mean, you could have possibly made more than $5, but at least for, your time and effort to, at least get there and everything. If they cancel, yeah, go ahead and see if you qualify. And there was no preventing me from going like all the way back to that first week that I started 4 weeks ago. And so doing that, I found 3 others that, I qualified for that $5 cancellation fee. So that was really, really nice. Hope that that's, a helpful tip to you Lyft drivers. Maybe you weren't aware. You do have to manually go in and request it. That's the only thing. For me, it was worth it, because it gave me 20 extra dollars, and sometimes, every dollar counts, when you're struggling to make ends meet and to provide for your family. For me, it was worth it. So, wanted to make sure that I shared that tip with everyone. As far as my week this week, those of you that are regular subscribers to my channel, that I have been in specific prayer for more ministry opportunity as I'm out driving and, taking passengers, to wherever they're going. Well, God has been answering that prayer. I believe. Oh, I see you, Kelly. Hi, Kelly. I'm doing this on my phone. This is like really, really new. I don't know how to like reply on my phone, so forgive me for that. Okay, I'm like a total newbie here. So I'm not ignoring anyone who might be, typing in live chat. Just to understand that. What I'm doing is just, talking about this week driving for Lyft, and some of the tips that I think might be helpful to other drivers who also drive for Lyft, and just what I feel God has been doing in my life as I'm driving for Lyft. I mean, he absolutely is taking care of the financial burden that I've just, I've just felt this, like, just this big burden. I got to get out and work and, bring income into the family. So, God's been taking care of that. And, my husband is doing this with me. And so that's been wonderful. So I never have to worry. God's got my back. He's taking care of me, and he's taking care of my family. But what I've been praying specifically for is for ministry opportunities where I can share Jesus Christ with passengers. And I'm very firm in, unless passengers would ask for like a particular secular radio station or something, I will let them listen to that. But otherwise, I just listen to Caleb. I mean, I'm driving, 7-8 hours a day, and I just have Caleb on. And I know God's working, even when I don't feel like, my passenger, really wants to talk. You can kind of get a feel if they're going to start being real talkative after you, do the small talk stuff. At least I know if we're both quiet, that the Christian music is playing softly in the background. And I took this one couple, I believe it was I think it was either this week or maybe it was last weekend. I picked up a couple downtown to take them to a concert that was going on in downtown. And I don't remember exactly how the conversation started, but we were talking about our children or something, because they were being picked up at either their son or their daughter's house. And they were asking me, I think, a little bit about, do I do this full time? And I said probably something to the effect, I do this, so then I can be at home with my children. And then they said something to the effect of, and I'm sure you take your children to church. And I mean, I hadn't said anything about the Lord at that point. And I said, oh, absolutely, because I'm very vocal in my home to talk about the Lord. And it puzzled me, because I'm like, well, how do they know I'm a Christian? And they said something, and they're like, well, we can tell you're a Christian. And I was just kind of scratching my head. And I'm like, well, how do they know? Because I didn't say anything. I hadn't started sharing about my faith at that point. And then it dawned on me, they're hearing the radio station. And so that was like a God moment, for God to let me know that his message, his gospel is going out, even when I'm not saying anything. And so then, I found out that they listen to the same radio station and that they're Christians. And it was a wonderful conversation. I mean, traffic was, pretty jammed for the concert and everything. So, we had probably about 10-15 minutes to just, be able to visit, and we were talking about, several of the Christian artists that we both like Casting Crowns and stuff. And so that was an eye opener to me, because, I wondered, okay, are people hearing, the words to the song? And there were times, I've picked up people, that I didn't feel that they wanted to really chat, because you can just kind of get a feel for that. And one was like somebody from like the Middle East, just that nationality. And boy, it's like I felt the Holy Ghost on me really strong. But it's also like the devil was right there, making me feel really, really uncomfortable, whispering in my ear saying, Wendy, you need to turn the radio station. You've probably got a Muslim and they don't want to hear about Jesus. And it was probably one of the most uncomfortable rides, just because I knew the battle that was raging there. And I'm very firm. Unless they ask for a specific radio station, it stays on, period. I do not, I mean, I keep it down low. I don't blare it or anything like that. And so other than, just saying, hi, how you doing, that sort of thing, just nice pleasantries, probably for 20-25 minutes, driving in silence with just Caleb playing in the background. And God knew which songs. I mean, I have no idea what was going through this man's mind. But God was in control of the songs that were played. And it was songs proclaiming the name of Jesus Christ, proclaiming salvation only in the name of Jesus Christ. And, Satan was right there. Wendy, you just want to listen to this. You need to change this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no. And so, got him to, where he was going, and, wished him, an enjoyable, rest of his evening and whatnot. And I drove away and I'm like, well, boy, that was really uncomfortable, you know. And at first, the first few weeks, it bothered me really bad because just that uncomfortable, like, people don't want to hear Christian. They don't want to hear about Jesus, Wendy. They don't want to hear about Jesus. And I just I will not budge on this. I absolutely will not budge. And come to find out, he tipped me almost $5. And so I don't know what made him tip me, but I give Jesus all praise, honor, and glory. I really, really do, because maybe one of the songs that was playing, maybe it spoke to him. That's what I hope, and that's what I pray for. And I've been really trying to pray for my passengers. You know, some of them, they'll really open up to me and they'll really share struggles in their life. Just like maybe 2 days ago, I had a woman that I was taking to work, and you know, we were talking about our children, and you know how she's, you know, kind of getting bullied. And I thought, okay, that's an open door, you know. And so I started asking, you know, well, you know, do you guys go to church? You know, is there, you know, like maybe a youth pastor that your daughter could talk to, you know, just somebody that, you know, could kind of help, you know, help her with these things, you know. It can be hard, you know, as, you know, little 12 and 13-year-old girls. And she said, you know, no. But then the more we started talking, I realized, okay, she believes in Jesus Christ. Well, then she felt comfortable enough to tell me she's a lesbian. And right then I knew, okay, because me and Bill had just talked about this. You know, we talked about just how horrific Steven Anderson is, saying all homosexuals are just automatically going to hell, regardless if they know the gospel and truly believe in Jesus Christ. That was, I felt like, okay, that's Jesus confirming to me, you know, homosexuality is a sin, just like murder is a sin. And so I just showed this woman love, and we talked about Jesus. We talked about, you know, once saved, always saved, that, you know, there's things in my life that I know is sin that, you know, God continues to help me with. Just like, you know, I mean, I didn't have to condemn her for the homosexuality. She knows, because she told me she doesn't want that for her children. She I didn't judge her. I didn't condemn her. I showed her love, because and it wasn't any kind of acting or faking on my part. You know, from one mother to another mother, just some of the things that I've gone through with my children as far as bullying and stuff. I just honestly tried to offer, you know, kind of like because I'm older than her, you know, so I try to give that like motherly advice, you know, and I could feel when they're receptive to receive, you know, something that I feel might help them. And I was just praising God for that opportunity to talk with her, because we just talked about the Lord. And you know, yes, obviously the homosexuality is an issue, but you know, that's something that the Lord is going to be dealing with her on. But as far as her knowing the true gospel, oh, she absolutely knows it, and she's saved. And there's been many others. I've now given repeat rides to like 3 or 4 different people that they recognize me, they remember me. And just I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. I picked up this woman, and you know, she just kept thinking, you know, you're so sweet, you're so sweet, because I went out of my way to help her. You know, yes, she added on the stops and stuff like that, but you know, I was helping her get her 2 youngest granddaughters to school so they could have their picture day. And these were just the most adorable little girls, both, you know, one was 3, one was 5, both in preschool. You know, they had their little dresses on, and just showing love, just generally caring about the people that, that I take, here, there, and wherever they're going. It's I really I'm seeing God move in so many ways. And I pray constantly, give me an open door, help me know what to say, and it's just me being me, and like that girl, you know, she felt comfortable enough to confide in me her situation. And I told her, I said, I don't want people to see Wendy. I want people to see Jesus in me. And she absolutely agreed. And and there's been quite a few, stories of passenger rides. Um, and so I don't know where God is going to lead me in this, but I absolutely know that this is the job God wants for me. And not only is it taking care of the income for our family, because God knows that's important to me, but he's opening the door for me to proclaim Jesus Christ to people who desperately need him. And even when I'm not talking, and we're just riding in silence, that Christian music that's playing. And I trust God, if God needs to speak to a particular person, he knows what song's gonna really get him right here. And so I put all of this in his hands. I really, really do. And so those of you who, continue to keep me in prayer, pray for more witnessing opportunities, please. And that I will be bold, that I will not, cower, or, whatever you want to call it. Just pray that Jesus Christ be glorified and more people come to the saving grace of Jesus Christ. So, thank you for those who, have popped in. And, Kelly, thank you, sister, for, putting in the live chat. It pulled up on like my screen, what you said. I just don't, I'm afraid if I push a button on here, like mess up the live cast. Hopefully I'll be able to figure out how to end this. But okay, well, oh yeah, see, your message is pulled up on my screen. Okay, so been going about 30 minutes. I think my break is over, so I do need to turn my app back on, to accept rides. So oh, I was going to do the hangout with Brother Bill, and hopefully we're going to get Merle on with us too. He's had, some things going on with his family this week. This was supposed to be Wednesday afternoon, but Bill had some things come up. He hurt his back. Keep him in prayer that, his back is healing and settling down, and whatever's going on there, that's healing up, fine. And so what I did is I postponed it for tomorrow at 3:00. And so hopefully I won't have to postpone it again. Hopefully, Bill will well enough with his back that, at least me and him can do this hangout. Hopefully, Brother Merle will also be available. He's been really sick this week with the flu. So please keep him in prayer that, he continues to recover on that end. But tentatively, as far as I know, tomorrow, it's basically a roundtable discussion. We're going to be talking about the book of Acts, because after the hangout that me and Bill did a Sunday afternoon, this past Sunday, we talked privately for probably like maybe 30 minutes. And we started talking about the book of Acts and how it took a little while for those first century Christians who were Jews to fully understand, the law has been abolished and all of that, and Bill's done, more research on this, it took probably like 20, 30 years for them to slowly graft in, I guess, graft in to what we would think is, the New Testament era, the church age.